أهلا وسهلا بكم وأشكركم على هذه الفرصة. Hello and welcome to all of you, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm Bill Heenan, and I teach novice students Arabic in both classroom and online settings at Central New Mexico Community College in Albuquerque, and this is our website. Note that when I refer to numbers, I'm referring to page 3 of the Think Aloud procedure guide, just so that you can follow along more easily. In my 10-minute Arabic mini lesson, I was preparing novice high CSU students, ages 16 through 21, I imagine, for an upcoming field trip to the Arab Jarir bookstore in the LA area. Specifically, I was helping them express their reading preferences within a budget as they explored the bookstore website. I was observed doing this by two gracious Arabic instructors, Hala and Su'ad. This experience represents my first efforts ever in teaching in a synchronous environment and using Google Hangouts. Until now, I've been using asynchronous online teaching using the Blackboard learning system at Central New Mexico Community College. Here's Jarir's website, by the way, and I want to show you what my course shell looks like at CNM for Arabic that I'm teaching this summer. Anyway, I chose to focus on the P6A criterion during this lesson, and I believe I was successful in meeting its requirements according to Hala and Su'ad, at least. At the end of the lesson, I wanted my students to be able to say with confidence, using the Jarir bookstore website, I can plan which publications I want to buy when our class visits the store during an upcoming field trip. This goal aligns with CSU's Summer Arabic Program Field Trip Number 1 on July 10th. Now I'm going to show you some slides related to my planning, Stage 1 and Stage 3. To develop this lessons, I basically had to plan across 3 areas. Number 1, using a new synchronous application effectively, and number 2, using Arabic appropriately with novice high students, and 3, planning a lesson meeting TEL guidelines. At first, I struggled to find a place where I had the network bandwidth to use the Hangout features that I needed for my lesson. I ended up using my office at the community college. I also needed unbroken two-way communication with my 2 co-teachers, which wasn't an issue anymore. At my end, I needed to be able to project a video of myself, but also hear the voices of the other instructors and vice versa. I needed to see their desktops and mine, vice versa. Ended up, we didn't have video, but we could see each other's desktops and were successful just doing that. Third, I needed to display my PowerPoint slides correctly on the Hangout desktop. I was able to overcome that obstacle pretty easily. Now, to date, I've taught only novice low students, so I wrote myself an Arabic script of what I'd most likely be saying to my students. To boost my confidence, I ran this script by Heather, and her feedback confirmed I was on the right path as long as I cleaned up a few minor grammatical errors and simplified my directions somewhat. The script seemed to work fairly well, and I'll show you an example of that. Also along what I was hoping to accomplish in the lesson, I needed to design a mini lesson relevant to these CSU students' needs and something they could put to use immediately. More specifically along those lines, I wanted to do the following. Remind students of what they know related to the upcoming lesson, and you can see that I created a match vocabulary with pictures activities from photos I had downloaded from the Jarir website. And then my goals for the students were, or for myself rather, were to express the learning targets clearly in a can-do way. And you can see that you saw that on stage 1 of my lesson plan before. And develop interesting, motivating content. And I'll show you the motivational device, or one of them, that I used. And another objective of mine was to provide regular and varied feedback throughout the lesson. Then use both formative and summative assessments. I created a fill-in-the-blanks activity on the next slide using an Excel spreadsheet. Students had to write, I want to buy blank publication, indicate its price, and confirm in the far left column that it's under $50. Then they had to say the same thing, or do the same thing for each classmate. I provided an example in the last row. So at the end, I wanted to congratulate the students on their accomplishments and explain where all this new knowledge would lead. Okay, referring to criteria 7, reflecting on what I had learned, I feel that I did much better than I'd set out to do and than I expected. Out of the 22 criteria listed on the evidence form, 3 were partially observed and 1 wasn't observed at all, and I paraphrase below in my summary. Target language used for real-life purposes. And Ustaadh said, English was used once when we didn't understand what teacher wanted us to do with the matching exercise in the beginning. Feedback on progress toward learning targets throughout. Again, Ustaadh said, because of the short time, this was only done at the end orally in a teacher summary, and congratulations, and through a final quiz. Next point, criteria. Students understand how to participate. And Hala said, I'm sorry, blocking the camera, that directions were not clear in Arabic on PowerPoint, matching exercise until instructor explained in English. And Ustaadh advised, English, maybe modeling the task in Arabic would have made this unnecessary. In other words, I should have tried harder with my Arabic to help them understand. And another category in which I was rated no, and I quote from Ustaadh, this couldn't have happened. This is difficult to do because of the short time for only one actual activity. And we all rated each other no in this area. And then that was pretty much it. On the other hand, as far as I did receive praise in the following areas. Encouragement and descriptive feedback. I was a very encouraging teacher, according to Ustaadh. Multiple varied opportunities to learn in context. Both instructors said, exploring the homepage of the store website, using the $50 incentive, having us talk to each other, asking and answering questions, using the PowerPoint slides, and using everything else to plan our purchases were very beneficial for us. And then final criteria, teacher models language production. Teacher did it in multiple ways, orally and in writing in Arabic. Then he used English when we couldn't understand. He also used English in a unique way to compare grammatical constructions. And I'll show you what they mean on this slide. Okay. English was used to compare grammatical constructions, and the purple title means new grammar. So to summarize my strengths, this is item number 8. Everyone agreed that my lesson was relevant to students' needs and provided much authentic content. However, on the other hand, everyone agreed I needed to be more confident in using Arabic at higher levels, especially when explaining how to start an activity. Thank you very much for this opportunity.